Check one, check two. Shout out to all the brothers in shorts. My man right there got his thighs out. How y'all doing? Everybody good? We're good. I'm here for the jokes, okay? I'm here for the jokes and the fried food. I'm going to just let y'all know. Hello, Mara Chans. We got elite black women out here. My name is Rodney Rakai. You all may see this Morehouse hat on my head, but that is because my son is on the way to Morehouse. But I went to North Carolina A&T State University, so Aggie pride to all my Aggies in the building. We are here right now to have a conversation about HBCUs. They are incubators for brilliance and excellence and have been so since the beginning of time. And in this current season of life, it's important that we amplify how important they still are for us, to us, because every industry I've ever worked in, at very near the top, was somebody who held from an HBCU. So it's important we continue to commit to sending our children there. Wes, you got kids yet? My fault. Pardon me, champ. I want to bring our panelists out right now. First up is a guy who I love dearly because we played tennis together, and I beat him the last 2 times we played. He went to Clark Atlanta University. World-renowned DJ Trauma. My brother, y'all make some noise for my guy. He ain't like that. He like, don't be telling the business, bro. Beat me at tennis. Okay. Always love, always love. Next up, we have the 7th president from Dillard University. He's now elsewhere. He'll talk about that in just a moment. But please welcome Dr. Walter Kimbrough, higher education leader, former HBCU president, right here at Dillard. Ooh, that's that smooth. You used to play basketball, didn't you? I know that walk. That's that smooth walk right there. You know he put buckets up back in the day. And last but certainly not least, one of the biggest personalities on the face of the planet, a HBCU grad who was also a member of a fraternity. I'll let him shout that out himself. Y'all please welcome brother Trav Q to the stage. Trav Q, New York City Zone. Yes, sir. What's up, man? How you feeling? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First and foremost, I think the most important question that I can ask each of you, how is your spirit doing today, brothers?
Oh, I feel really good. I feel really, 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 really good. I'm hopeful.
Okay, edibles kicking in, I see.
Gee.
Love, 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 love.
Well, I'm doing great. It's always good to be back in New Orleans, having been president of Dillard for 10 years. I've seen a lot of my former students, so that's always just new energy when you get to see them and watch how they have really progressed in their careers. So I'm always happy to be back.
Amazing.
I am grateful.
Okay.
I feel like I'm here with family already. How y'all feeling? Y'all good? That's what I'm talking. No, we need more energy than that. How y'all feeling? Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. Now I feel better.
Yeah, Dr. Kimbrough, I want to ask you straight out the gate. We are seeing an uptick in enrollment at HBCUs. The application process is crazy. I would not be admitted to North Carolina A&T State University if I were to apply in 2026. The thresholds are so high. What is causing this boom and seeing so many young people desire to go to HBCUs from your perspective?
Yeah, so there are a couple of things. The first thing that's happened over the last 10 years is that we've had more mainstream media lean into HBCUs in ways we've never seen before. So it's really been, I mean, if you think back in the day when we had Martin and people were always wearing HBCU gear, then it went away for a while. But now you're seeing people like when Beyonce performs in a football game, the Texas Southern Band is with her, the videos that T.I. are doing with, Tuskegee and Ludacris with Clark Atlanta. So there's a higher profile. The other thing is just the feeling that's going on in the country right now. Everybody's feeling all this anti-DEI. They feel like anti-black and they're being attacked. So I want to go to a place where everybody appreciates me for who I am. And that's driving a lot of that. And when I've talked to students, they're like, I just want to get out of all of the foolishness that's going on. So let me be at a place where I'm going to be respected and loved for being me, and I don't have to, act like I'm someone else.
Yeah, I always say, man, it's the only place that we can go that we are the majority. And, for those 4 years, you can't have that kind of experience anywhere else outside of prison, and, we're not trying to do that. Nope. But when I took my son to Morehouse for the first time last month, he was like, yo, this is the only place where this many black men come together that's not a prison institution. And it was mind-blowing. Trav, coming from New York City, man, how did you end up at a HBCU?
So my high school coach, who's a member of my fraternity, the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated,
hey,
right?
Shout out to the bros, yeah.
Root to the bros. He told me about HBCUs. I didn't even know about an HBCU until he told me to fill out the application. When I tell you I had so many acceptance letters But the first HBCU that I seen was the Lincoln University, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I said, that's where I want to go. I actually played football there. And when I arrived on that campus, I seen how family-oriented HBCUs were. Yeah. You know, Lincoln University was probably the best choice for me. You know, and just coming from New York City, it was definitely the best choice. You know, just, bringing that New York City swag to HBCU, you know.
I'm already knowing.
Yes,
Trauma,
sir.
you kind of have a similar experience, coming from New York, ending up down in Atlanta, right? Like,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, my experience was a little different because my grandmother was in the Methodist church, and Clark is a Methodist school. So my freshman year of high school, she was like, you going on a college tour for spring break. And I was like, okay. But it changed my life when I started to see all the schools, and then I went down to Morehouse and Spelman and Clark. I was like, oh, this is where I'm going to go. So it definitely immediately changed my my opinion.
You've been all over the world, though, through music. You are somebody who I admire, and I mean that genuinely. The way you carry yourself, the way you carry culture, I think is very important, very healthy. In all the spaces that you exist in, are you seeing other people that went to HBCUs, and what's that like to see somebody who went to an HBCU and connect with them in Bali or any of the countries that you frequent?
The one thing I will say about going to an HBCU is, even if it's just your school, there's just a bond that you have. Even if you didn't go at the same time, if you see somebody in the other world and you say, you went to where? Oh, you went to Clark. It's just an instant bond. But it even goes further, like HBCU. Like if you see somebody in a different country that went to an HBCU, there's just this unwritten language that you both speak that just makes you excited.
Yeah, I know you struggle to manage the financial aid office, right? I know that the food and the calf might not have always been hitting on something. It's a lot of things that we got to deal with at HBCUs where we like, damn, bro, like that's what we serving today?
Bye.
It's an experience. The football play is always going to cause chaos on the HBCU campus.
Hey, listen, Fried Chicken Tuesday was the best day, all right? Yeah, it was Tuesday for us at the Lincoln University. I know it's Fried Chicken, but it's Tuesday, She was like, see? It's a universal thing. She was like, hold on, Tuesday.
Yeah. Did y'all have good pizza? This is random. This is not on the question list. Did y'all have good food at Lincoln? Because there's a part of me that feels like they were serving y'all Ilio's pizza.
No, we had great food because there was nothing but cornfields around, right?
Okay.
So the nearest city was Philadelphia, which was an hour and 10 minutes.
Heard.
So we were stuck on that campus. So they had to have good food for us.
Got you. Okay. Dr. Kimbrough, you have a unique perspective because you have led HBCUs. So from your purview, what's something that's been a challenge during your tenure at Dillard University that you feel like present day has kind of soothed itself out a little bit?
The challenge then is still the challenge now. HBCUs are under-resourced institutions that serve under-resourced people. And the thing that I worried about the most is how do we generate enough resources for students to stay in school? We want them to have that full experience. And so some of that, I think, in many ways might be worse now because the wealth and income gap continues to grow. And so I continue to think about that. I think there is, like I said in the beginning, there's much more of an appreciation of HBCUs beyond the HBCU community. I mean, it's, NBA's All-Star game a few years ago, they had HBCU stuff all on the court. So we're getting a different level of appreciation from popular culture. But the bottom line is we've got to figure out how do we support our students and families so they can afford to go to school and not leave with tons and tons of debt.
So that's something that I'm actually dealing with right now. Like I told y'all, my son is on the way to Morehouse to be a freshman this fall, and there was a loan. I want to say it's the Parent Plus loan that used to be upwards of $60,000, and that has since been reduced under this administration down to $20,000. So a parent who is trying to apply to help their child go to school, we're underfunded. We don't have that extra income. We don't have that, and so it puts quite a few people in a very precarious position, and it's really unfortunate. We are seeing a lot of rollbacks in this administration to our HBCUs, and it's a challenge to figure out how to send your children to college right now because the cost is crazy. It's crazy.
But I'm going to tell you this, though, and this is for you and for all the parents out there. I'm executive vice president with United Negro College Fund.
Well, cut the check, brother.
I'm about to tell you.
What's up?
Have your son go to uncf.org, get in the portal, and make sure he is checking for scholarships every other week because I'm telling y'all, people leave free money on the table every year.
Yeah.
And they leave money because they go through the process and it might say, write a 300 to 500 page essay. And then people just like, I can't do that. It's free money. So he needs to be in the portal, and that's his home. You need to tell him, like, you've been on uncf.org. Do you see what kind of scholarships there are? Because if you do that enough, and I watch international students come and go for free because
Yeah.
they know they can't get no federal money, and they stay in that portal. So we got to stay in those portals and look up that money. It takes some time, but that's how you cover that gap. Because you're right, that Parent Plus loan is
Yeah.
cut.
That's the scholarship essays are daunting though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I sit side by side with my son writing them joints out, bro, and I'm like, they don't teach the kids how to write that well anyway. So like watching him struggle through the essays sometimes, I'm like, oh man, now they doing video essays. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Trav, you are an ambassador for HBCUs, which is beautiful, right? Because you get to have experiences like this where your voice matters. But it also means that you have to have a certain level of decorum and responsibility because you are a face that is attached to HBCUs. Let's talk about the challenges and making sure that you carry HBCUs as strongly and as proudly as you do.
First and foremost, I would like to talk about, HBCUs are not being overlooked anymore, and the power of HBCUs, the community of HBCUs, the leaders that came from HBCUs. So I have to carry that weight with me wherever I go. I have to represent the Lincoln University of Pennsylvania, but I also have to represent all the HBCUs like you said as well. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to let you in on a story. So Langston Hughes graduated from the Lincoln University of Pennsylvania. Thurgood Marshall graduated from the Lincoln University of Pennsylvania. They were roommates. Thurgood Marshall, who's a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, and Langston Hughes, who's a member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, my chapter, them being roommates, Thurgood Marshall actually got kicked out of Lincoln University. Langston Hughes wrote the letter to get him back inside. So it shows how much of a family that we are. Dr. Kwame, the first president of Ghana, graduated from the Lincoln University. So I have to carry that every day, everywhere I go. You get what I'm saying? And we are not being overlooked anymore, So I have to just carry that with me wherever I go. You get them?
I totally get it, man. That's a tall
Nice.
task.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's fair that we have to, because there is a part of society that recognizes as a black people, we always have to bear the brunt of what it means to be black in this country. And there are so many people who have attacks against HBCUs who say they're no longer relevant, they're not viable institutions, they're racist to some people that have an infrastructure designed specifically and explicitly for black people. What are your thoughts about the perspective of HBCUs from outsiders in 2026?
Ooh, I think that until the world is fair, I think it's fair for us to be able to have our own schools that cater to us. And I feel like engaging in that conversation is a no-win conversation if you're trying to talk about reverse racism, because the history is just so great of racism towards us. It doesn't even, you can't, if you engage in that conversation a lot of times, they can prove you wrong in public or something like that. So I feel like sometimes you might want to shy away from that type of conversations. But I feel like HBCUs, listen, the family feeling that you get is something that is irreplaceable. So it's just like we need that always.
Always. There's a lot of conversations about or debates between PWIs versus HBCUs. Dr. Kimbrough, I defer to you. What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of going to an HBCU versus a PWI from your perspective?
So I always tell people, make sure you choose the institution that's the best fit for you. I grew up in Atlanta. I went to Atlanta public schools, black folks all of my life. I went to University of Georgia. So I wanted something that was different for me. But at that time, that was a good fit for me. So I always tell students and families, particularly, make sure you find a place that's a good fit. And for a lot of students, particularly in this time, they are looking for an HBCU experience. So they are trying to figure out, how do I get to a place where I am going to be nurtured and all of those things. So it's really up to the person. I tell everybody, though, at least when your child, and we have a rising senior in high school, you got to at least apply to HBCU. You gotta look at it, and then you can make the right choice for you. But don't get caught up in, because a lot of students we're finding out will go to a PWI and get lost because they're not jocking for you like that.
Yeah.
So it's important for you to make sure you go to a place that's a good fit. So you have them do that. And so I think sometimes we go down those rabbit holes of that debate. Find a place that's a good fit, but make sure you're looking at an HBCU as a part of that and not rule that out, because it could be a good fit.
Definitely. Trav, you made the rounds. You be outside.
For sure.
You be in a mix a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I see it from
Just
afar.
just a little bit, you know.
It's a touch. So you've been to different homecomings.
Yes.
It's a lot of conversations out there about who has the best homecomings.
Okay.
I went to North Carolina A&T State University.
Okay.
Hey, keep pride. You late, but I hear you though. You know, greatest
See
homecoming.
the discipline, you have to be on time. That's the HBCU thing. Say it one more time. Let's see if you go.
At Geek Pride. There we go all day. You know?
LU. Okay, I'll say Lincoln Pride. All right, yeah.
Crickets. Who has the best HBCU?
The Lincoln University, Pennsylvania.
DAU,
The first
Panthers.
HBCU. The first HBCU, the Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, has the best homecoming. But shout out, shout out to y'all. I can't even front. Y'all homecoming is lit.
Trav.
I ain't gonna say it, hold y'all homecoming is very lit. I've been there a few times.
I'm gonna go down the line. We're gonna talk about this because this is important. Like Tupac said it best. We might fight amongst each other, but I promise you this: we'll burn it down when you get us pissed, right? So
fact.
we gonna compete about HBCUs, but we gonna stick together where it matters. Why do you feel like Lincoln has the best homecoming? I need to understand it because I've never been, and I don't want to judge it, but from afar, it looks like it doesn't compare to A&T's homecoming, respectfully.
I mean, shout out to A&T first and foremost. But like you said, it's a whole family. HBCUs, we're a whole family. But when I go back to Lincoln University, I'm amongst my friends. I'm amongst my peers.
Okay.
We crack jokes. We bring up memories from the past. So I feel at home again. That's why I feel as though Lincoln University's homecoming is the best homecoming.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this: all of our homecomings are the best homecoming. Let's start there.
There it
Let's
is.
do
That's.
that. Yeah.
Hell no. Hell no.
I will just have to say this: that bigger doesn't mean that it's better.
I got a crazy joke.
So I went to CAU, and I just feel like our energy is like we're in the AUC. You got Morehouse, you got Spelman, you got Morrisbound. We kind of get overlooked sometimes. So we tend to go really hard and have a really good time and really show our pride during homecoming.
Okay. Dr. Kimbrough at Dillard University, talk about the homecoming experience. Were you out there in the mix?
Well, so I was out with all the Dillard folks here too. So I just talk about the students at Dillard, and I have to. Let me have this caveat. I've been president of 3 HBCUs, Philander Smith and Little Rock, and I was interim last year at Talladega where my wife
clap
went
that
to
up,
school.
man. Clap that. That's fire.
So I gotta.
That's amazing. Thank you for your commitment.
But I'm here, as a UNCF person, but I'm always Dillard too. And what I see from our students at Dillard at homecoming, you see those real connections, rekindling connections, then that lead to other things. So there are a lot of people behind the scenes doing some work at Essence that are Dillard grads, that are running a lot of these things, a lot of these panels. And so we go back to homecoming, you watch them connect, and then I'm opening up the Essence magazine like, yeah, that's one of my students wrote that article, and another one of my students wrote that article, and that student was just on stage doing X, Y, and Z. So it's like we use it for us. I mean, Dillard doesn't have football, but we making sure we doing work during homecoming. We making the connection.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
So what's y'all homecoming sport? Like, what is it, like
It's
cricket?
around basketball.
Basketball?
Yeah, being in the
Okay.
basketball season, yeah.
You know, one thing we didn't talk about is the people that you meet at college that you will end up networking and doing business with your entire life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's that's a huge important fact. I think that I would love for you to talk about.
Yeah, listen, I am the beneficiary of having gone to an HBCU because I went to North Carolina A&T State University. Obviously, you have Terrence, right? Terrence is like a big brother to me, but also Howard University. Any HU? But having gone to an HBCU, I've connected with so many people from other HBCUs who support me. My sister right here, Mara Chance, who went to Spelman University, or Spelman College, Spelman College, my bad. We got my brother Ricky Bennett in the back. Crystal, like these are people who have been in my life now for over 20 years, and we stay connected. A lot of the jobs and opportunities that I've gotten are because I went to an HBCU, and it is constantly it's said in certain instances, in certain spaces, that the experience is limiting or it's limited. There's a ceiling when you go to an HBCU because you have to shake white hands in order to advance in this world, and I call nonsense on that. I think that going to an HBCU creates a tighter relationship than you could ever have having gone to a PWI. At least that's my experience, and I swear, I am so thankful my son is going to Morehouse. Like, I am thankful that he's going to be in the fold of that right there. Like, he's a second-generation HBCU student. That's the thing that we worked hard for our whole lives. Like, that's what I wanted, bro. So, yeah, going to HBCU, it does create that. Now, I want to go back to homecoming real fast. Because going to North Carolina A&T State University, in Greensboro, North Carolina, you would never imagine hundreds of thousands of people descending upon this borderline food desert of Greensboro, North Carolina, the party, it is a different experience. Atlanta is lit. People gonna go to Atlanta regardless. Howard, respectfully, people gonna go to D.C. regardless. But to descend upon Greensboro, North Carolina, because you know you ain't gotta be from there, you ain't gotta be from the school. It's not pretentious. It's a different level of love, and I just feel like we do that really, really well at our HBCU.
All I will say is that my alumni giving rate at Dillard was higher than A&T's.
But
It ain't even close.
I need to see the stats on that. Listen, we can compete. we got football though, so you know.
That's
we
okay.
got that going for ourselves. Before we close though, man, what's one thing that you hope people in this crowd take away from the HBCU experience and a piece of wisdom you can give them to impart on a young person who may be about to cross that threshold from high school into college?
First and foremost, it's about your education. Everything after that, everything comes after that. Focus on your education, focus on getting your degree, and more importantly, focus on graduating.
1000%.
Just real quick, I want to acknowledge the president of Alabama A&M University, Dr.
Hey.
Daniel Williams. He's here.
What's
So
up?
I need
What's
to shout
up,
out my
brother?
colleague who's here as well. I always tell students, even though we have all this technology, we're in a relationship economy. And you have to build those relationships, and you can do that better at HBCUs. Like I said, I see it with my Dillard students all around that are running all kinds of things at Essence. It's based on those relationships. So you can't just go to college and be in your room and on the PlayStation and doing those things. You got to get out and have relationships with people. And if you do that, you maximize what we do best at HBCUs.
Phenomenal word.
Word. He said it better than I could. But I would tell anybody who's going to, make sure you make connections with all the people in your class, as many as you can. Have your clique, because those people to the left and the right of you will be some of your biggest allies, some of your biggest clients. Like, for instance, Amy Sherrill, she's a world-renowned painter. She did Michelle Obama's painting. We used to share notes in class, and then when she decided to do her Whitney Museum opening, she reached back and was like, "Oh, I want a lit DJ. Let me hit Trauma." So it's those people that are right next to you are going to be the leaders of tomorrow.
It's a special place. It really is an incubator for black brilliance, black excellence, and it is a breeding ground for leadership across so many different industries. I truly, truly believe that. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your contributions to this conversation as well as to HBCU culture. Thank you for your time, your energy, your spirit, and thank y'all out there as well. Make sure you encourage our youth to attend HBCUs, any of them. It does not matter. Thank y'all for your time, love, and light. I'm Rodney Ricard. What's up, Trav?
Everybody shout out your HBCUs on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
CAU.
Yeah.
Shout out Ricky Bennett, man. It's the guy.
Lil J on the track.